Okay. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to our English class. I hope everyone is doing well. No, I know everybody here, especially those who are watching or listening to this stream, came from home, came from work to do something and such things. So it's possible that you're tired or anything. So before we dig on what we are doing today, let's do some exercise. Let's do some, some breather. Okay, just to make yourself comfortable so that you are prepared and ready for this session, not for the whole night, for the whole hour of this session. So let's do some breather. Let's just as simple as inhaling and exhaling. Exhaling, especially all the stress that you're feeling, would already be enough. Okay? In my cue, inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. Okay, like that. Okay, take a moment to make yourself comfortable because for this session, we are going to do we're going to do sets of exercises. Why? Because we are already done with the topic on people or words for people. So at this time, to see that you learn something, we will do an assessment. We will do sets of exercises just to see how far have you retained the lessons that we did in the past two meetings about people. Okay? Again, this is ESL, or this is assessment for our topic on words for people. There will be five exercises all throughout the session. Each exercise, there will be 10 items each, meaning there will be 50 points in total. So all throughout the session, you can always use the chat box to interact with me or interact with others so as to see whether you've answered this particular question correctly or not. Okay? All right. Now, for a moment, let me just check. Okay. Everything is good. All right. Let's start with our first exercise. Before that, let's do a quick review on what we did or what were the topics, what were the discussion all about for the topic people. So we focused on different terms and vocabulary for under people. We started with family members, which includes mother, father, brother, sister, grandmother, and grandfather. Followed by people in society, which includes teacher, doctor, student, and people at work, engineer, chef, police officer, describing people, friendly, tall, child, old, kind, and friend. Another, family relations, aunt, uncle, cousin, people in groups, neighbor, citizen, stranger. More people words, baby, adult, boss, and emotional roles, happy, leader, and partner. So all those vocabulary, all those words will be part of our exercises. Okay. I think we are all ready. Are you all ready for the exercises that we are going to do right now? Tell me or give me a anything, no, anything in the chat box so as for me to clearly see if you are ready or not. Okay? All right. I think we're all ready. Let's start with the first exercise. This will be very simple. Our first exercise is a multiple choice. On what? on family members. So there is a specification in there. We are going to talk about, or we're going to answer family members. How many words did we include in there? We include six, right? Six words. First is mother, followed by father, then sister, brother, grandmother, and grandfather. Now, what do we do here? Since it is a multiple choice, you choose the correct answer for each question. Okay? As simple as that. Choosing the correct answer for each question. Are we all good? If you want to provide your answer, you can type in, no? Whether your answer is sister, aunt, grandmother, cousin, brother, and etc. and more. Okay? All right. Let me check. Okay. Screen is good. Anyway, let's continue. Or let's start with the first item. The question is, who is your mother's mother? Again, who is your mother's mother? So it is the one being referred to here is older than your mother. Okay? Again, it is older than your mother. Now, since it is older than your mother, it could not be your sister because your sister is, of course, younger than your mother, and especially not your cousin. Okay? Because that is not your mother. That's not a direct family member. How about aunt? They could be older than your mother, but are they the mother of your mother? What do you think? Aunt could be the sister of your mother or a sister-in-law, something like that. So our answer here is grandmother. Okay, it is correct. Do we have the same answer? Give me a thumbs up if if we have the same answer. But anyway, let's try to decode. No, what do we mean by this? Who is your mother's mother? So when we say mother, that is your, what do we mean by mother? Mother is a female parent, right? A female parent who nurtures and cares for her children, which is you. So a mother is a female parent. Now, we are not talking, or we're not asking about the mother themselves. We're talking about our mother's mother. Okay, so it's a little bit older, or it's really old. It's literally older than your mother. So we're talking about grandmother because a grandmother is the mother of your parent. So whether we talk about father's mother, we are still talking about grandmother. So if the question will be rephrased to who is your father's mother, the answer would still be the same. It will be grandmother. Okay, grandmother. So that is that is the answer. No, your mother's mother or your father's father. I mean, your father's mother is your grandmother. Okay, next item. Who is your father's son? Again, who is your father's son? Is it father? Of course not. No, we our answer here will not be father because it's already specified there that who is your father's son. So it's not himself. It's not himself. So it's not father. How about uncle? What do you mean by uncle? No? What do you mean by uncle as a family relation? Uncle is just like your aunt. So it will be the sibling. So particularly this will be your father's brother or any kind of parent. May it be mother. So when we talk about aunt, that is your sister's. That is your mother's or your father's sister. When we talk about uncle, that is your parents' brother. Okay, so aunt is a female sibling of your parent. Uncle is a male sibling of your parent. So, of course, uncle is not the correct answer. How about grandfather? Again, grandfather. What do you think is the answer? Is it grandfather? Let's go back to how I've mentioned about grandfather and grandmother. Again, they are the what? The parent of your parent. So let's try to specify. Again, grandmother is or could be your mother's mother or your father's mother. So they are older. Grandfather, on the other hand, are they are the mother's father or father's father. So they are also older than your father. Now let's go back to the question. Who is your father's son? When we talk about son, okay, let's try to remember when we talk about son, that is your male sibling. Okay, the male sibling. So, father's son is the male sibling, and it should be younger than your father because they are the offspring. Okay, so grandfather, of course, will not be the correct answer. So, what is our correct answer here? Brother. Okay, brother. Again, brother is a male sibling. So, let's take it as your sibling who is or yeah, who is a male. Okay? All right. Let's move on to number 3. A female sibling is called a Oh, I've already mentioned this one. A female sibling is called a. This is the opposite of number 2 because in number 2 we are talking or we are asking about a male sibling, which is the brother. But if it is a female sibling, what do we call it? Or what do we call them? Do we call them grandmother? Of course not, because again, grandmother is your parents' mother. Your mother? Do we call it as mother? Of course not. No, your mother is not your sibling. Your mother is your female parent. How about brother? Of course, automatically this will not be your answer because brother is male. We're referring to a male. What kind of male? Your male sibling. So, of course, this is not the correct answer. Our correct answer here is sister. Again, sister is your female sibling. Okay? All right. Let's move on to number 4. Now, number 4 is your mother's husband is your, again, your mother's husband is your, do you think it is your brother? When we talk about husband, what do we mean by that? Husband is, or husband is the partner of your parent, okay? Or especially your mother. So, husband is a male partner of your parent, okay? So, let's try to look. So all of this they refer to male, right? Brother, uncle, grandfather, and father. So all of these refer to male. But let's try to identify which of these is the question referring to, or is the statement referring to. First, we have brother. Again, your brother is your male sibling. Okay, sibling. So, of course, that is not your mother's husband. So, that is not the correct answer. How about uncle? Uncle is it the partner of your mother? Of course not. Uncle is your brother, is the brother of your parent. So, uncle could be your mother's brother or your father's brother. How about grandfather? Do we think it is grandfather? Of course, it is not. Because again, if it comes to grandfather, it means your mother's father. So, way, way older than your mother or um, the partner of your mother. So, since brother, uncle, and grandfather are not correct, our answer here would be father. Why? Because father is your mother's husband. No, your mother's partner is your father. What is father? Father is your male parent. Okay? So you have two parents, your mother and your father. Your mother is your female parent, your father is your male parent. Okay? All right. That is number 4. Let's move on to number 5. Your father's mother is again, number 5. Your father's mother is your father's mother. I've already talked about this one. This is on the first item. It's just rephrased, but it has the same answer. Do we remember the answer of number 1? Okay, let's try to find the answer. Is it mother? Your father's mother is your mother. Again, father and mother is partnered. So, of course, it is imperative that your father or your mother is not your father's mother. Okay? How about aunt? Your father's mother is your aunt? Of course not. Because again, aunt could be your father's sibling, female sibling, or the partner of your father's or your mother's female sibling. So that is not the correct answer. How about the third one? Sister. Again, let's go back to the question. Your father's mother is your. So this is not the correct answer because again, sister is your female sibling. Oh, so female sibling and father's mother is totally different. So our answer here is grandmother. Okay? Our answer is grandmother. So of your father's mother is your grandmother. It has the same answer with number 1. The question here is mother's mother. And then here is father's mother. But they both refer to the parent's mother. So that is the grandmother. Okay? All right. Let's move on to the number 6 item. A male sibling is called again, a male sibling is called a sister, brother, mother, father. So mother and father automatically they are not the answer because they are your parents. We are asking for the sibling here. Particularly what kind of sibling? Male sibling. Is it sister or brother? It is brother. No? Our answer here is brother. Why? Because sister is your female sibling. Okay? So when we talk about male sibling, that is your brother. Okay? All right. Let's move on to number 7. Your mother's father is again, your mother's father is it father? Of course, automatically, it is not your father because if we talk about father, the question should be mother's partner. Okay? Mother's husband. So, father is not the answer. How about uncle? Uncle is your mother's father? Of course not. Uncle is your parent's sibling. So it could be your mother's brother or your father's brother. Okay? Next, we have your brother. Who are we asking here? Mother's father. So, since it's mother's father, it's way older from you because your mother is way old is already way older than you, and we are talking about your mother's father, which is way much older than you. And your brother is not that much older than you because brother is your male sibling. So our answer here is what? Grandfather. Your mother's father is your grandfather. Okay? All right. Number 8. Your father's daughter is your, again, your father's daughter is your, is it your mother? We're talking about daughters, so it's much younger than your father. Father's daughter is your mother? No, because mother is your father's wife or father's partner. How about grandmother? Of course, because we're talking about father's mother. So, that is not the answer. Aunt is your father's sibling, a female sibling. Okay, so that is also not the correct answer. So our answer here should be sister. Again, sister. This is your sibling, your female sibling, or your father's daughter. Okay, all right. Let's move on to number 9. Okay, it's a bit of long question. Not really that long. But anyway, number 9, who takes care of you at home with your father? Again, who takes care of you at home with your father? Is it your teacher, your doctor, your boss, or your mother? Now, this will be very easy because among the four options, there is only one that is not related to each other. And of course, that is what? What do you think is the answer? That is your mother. Okay? Who takes care of you at home with your father? Mother. Because teacher, doctor, and boss, they are not words that represents family members. No, they are different from that. So, by the power or by the principle of, you know, removing other options, mother is the correct answer because that's the only ones that different, and it fits perfectly to the description here. Who takes care of you at home with your father? So aside, when we talk about taking care of you, that is your parents responsibility. Now there are two parents. We have the father, and the father, which is your male parent, and your mother, which is your female parent. So both the mother and the father should go hand in hand when it comes to taking care of you. Okay? All right. Now let's move on to number 10, the last item for the set or for the set for the exercise for exercise 1. Number 10, your father's wife is your, oh, this will be very easy. I've already mentioned it earlier. Your father's wife. When we talk about wife, that is your partner. Is it your sister? Of course not. Your aunt? No. Your grandmother? No. The answer is your mother. So your father's wife is your mother. Yay, we get a score of 10 over 10. How about you? Have you gone and answered these different items? What score did you get? You can always share it in the chat box. Okay. Are we all doing so far, everyone? Everybody? Again, let's try to review the exercise 1. Number 1, mother's mother is grandmother. Father's son is brother. Female sibling is sister. Mother's husband is father. Your father's mother is your grandmother. A male sibling is called a brother. Your mother's father is your grandfather. Father's daughter is your sister, who takes care of you at home with your father. That is your mother. And your father's wife is your still mother. Okay? All right. Any questions before we proceed with exercise number 2? Do we have any? I think not. Let's go and find next exercise. Now, in the next exercise, this is fill in the blanks. We are focusing on people in society. So, this is fill in the blanks. What you're going to do here is type the missing word to complete each sentence. So, we need to type the missing word to complete each sentence. Now, look at this one. Do you see that there are what? There are hint. No, these are hint for your possible answer because there are no options in here. That is your hint. Okay. Hint number 7, hint number 8, and hint number 9. Okay. Are we all good? Let's start with the first item for a moment. Okay. Again, this is fill in the blanks. You type the missing word to complete each sentence. Let's start with the first one. A blank teaches students at school. Again, a blank teaches students at school. So, who do you think we are referring to here? So their characteristic, they teach, no, they teach or they share their knowledge to students at school. So who has a responsibility to teach the students? Well, our clue here, it starts with letter T and ends with letter R. Our answer would be teacher. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Teacher. Let's try to read the whole sentence. A teacher teaches students at school. Again, a teacher teaches students at school. Okay, number 2. A blank helps sick people get better. Again, a blank helps people sick, and I mean, helps sick people to get better. So that is the responsibility. So we are asking for a professional here. When it comes to professionalism, they are the ones who diagnoses, who treats people with sickness. So they provide the care, they provide the support that this particular person needs, or they are also called as patient. Okay, so who or what kind of people word are we referring to here? Let's look at the hint. It starts with letter D and ends with R. That is doctor. Okay, doctor. So, number 2, let's try to complete a sentence. A doctor helps sick people get together. Okay? All right. Let's move on to number 3. Item number 3. A blank learns new things at school. Again, a blank learns new things at school. So, our hint here is S and T. Okay? S and then it ends with letter T. Now, a blank learns new things at school. So basically, this is not a teacher because the teacher is the one teaching the students. Okay, I've already provided the answer unintentionally. So our answer here is student. Okay, Student. So student is someone who actively engages in learning, no? Who wants to learn new things at school. So that is a student. And you are also considered as my students, no? Because you're trying to learn new things about the English language. Okay? Number 4. Let's move on to number 4. And Blanc designs buildings and machines. So we have here a hint. It starts with E and ends with R. So, okay. All right. So, Blanc designs buildings and machines. What do you think? So, this is still a professional job, but we are referring to here as the one who designs buildings and machines. No, they are, or they, yeah, this is a person who designs or build things. Okay, what could be their project? Their project could be bridges, it could be buildings, machines, and etc., and many more. But in here, they are called as engineer. Okay. Engineer. Let's try to complete the sentence. An engineer designs buildings and machines. Again, an engineer designs buildings and machines. Now, let's move on to number 5. Are we all doing so far? Okay, I think we're all good. Again, let's go back to number 5. Number 5, a blank cooks food in a restaurant. Again, a blank cooks food in a restaurant. Our hint here is C. Starts with C and ends with letter F. Okay, that's the answer would be chef. Okay, again, chef is a professional cook. So they are the ones who cook for food in a restaurant. No, instead of preparing whole prepare meals in restaurants or its hotels, the chefs had to create delicious dishes so that their venue would be approved or possible, right? So that is chef. Next, number 6. A blank officer keeps people safe. Again, a blank officer keeps people safe. We have here a clue that is it should start with letter P and end with letter E. What do you think is the answer? Again, what do you think is the answer? A blank officer keeps people safe. It is an officer, so we're talking about a professional job here. Your answer should be police. Again, police. A police officer keeps people safe. Okay. Next. Okay. Number 7. A blank is in charge at a company. Again, a blank is in charge at a company. Our clue here is letter B. It ends up with letter B and ends with letter S. Okay. Again, a blank is in charge at a company. It in charge at a company. Okay. Who do you think we are referring to? Let's look at the hint. It starts with B and end with S. Okay. It ends with B and it begins with B and ends with S. What do you think is the answer? Again, let's try to go back with the item. The blank is in charge at a company. Again, in charge, no? They are the one in charge at leading the company. So they are, or this is a person in charge at work, no? Responsible for overseeing employees and making important decisions for the campus. So a blank is campus or the company. So a blank is in charge of the company. Again, in charge means leading. Okay? A blank is leading at a company. So that should be your answer. I not answer, but that could also be your sentence. Now again, our clue here is B. It starts with letter B and ends with letter S. The answer would be very short, four letters only. That is the boss. Again, boss is your leader. It is considered as a leader in any kind of, company. So that is boss. Let's try to read the sentence. A boss is in charge of the company. Okay. All right. Let's move on to number 8. Unblank is a grown up person. Okay. Unblank is a grown up person. So when we talk about grown up person, they're typically 18 years or older. No? So they are responsible for making their own decisions and for managing their own lives. Growing up. So it is much older. Okay? Not young. Our clue here is it starts with the letter A and ends with the letter T. Do you have the answer with you already? That is, what do you think is the answer? The answer is adult. Again, the answer would be adult. So again, an adult is a grown up person. No? That is adult. Again, a grown up person is considered as adult. Okay? All right. Let's move on to number 9. Okay, number 9. A blank is very young and small. Again, a blank is very young and small. Again, a blank is very young and small. Let's look at the hint. It starts with letter B and ends with letter Y. Do you have the answer already with you? No? So this will be a short word because there are only two blanks that we are finding here. So there are two blanks, there are two letters. So the answer should be what? Do you have the answer with you? Our answer should be baby. Again, baby. Because baby is a baby is very young and small. So that's the sentence. We know that a baby is very young child and not really considered as a child. No, so they are typically less than 1 year old. No, the babies are known for their soft skin, no, the need for constant care from adults because they cannot do that for themselves. So that is a baby. Okay, a baby is very young and small. All right, let's move on to number 10. A blank leads a group of people. Again, a blank leads a group of people. What do we think are we referring here? A blank refers to or it leads a group of people. Our clue here is it starts with letter L and ends with letter R. And there are four missing letters. What word are we referring to here? A blank leads a group of people. We call them what? We call them leader. Okay, that's the correct answer. So a leader is someone, let's try to read the sentence. A leader leads a group of people. So they are someone who guides and inspires others. Okay? That is a leader. Okay. How are we doing so far? No? Score 10 over 10. Okay, please share your score again with our second exercise, fill in the blanks. Again, 10 over 10, perfect is 10. So we have here, okay, what items did you get loose? Or were you weren't able to answer correctly? What items? We have number 8. Oh, that's kind of hard. Number 6 and etc. So that is we take it as the what? As the partner of the not partner of the wife, but of course it is part of a people in society. Okay? Any questions? Are we getting so far? Are our scores are your scores good? Are you satisfied? If not, you can always just, you know, learn or refresh your mind with the PPT that I provided. Okay? Anyway, so this is fill in the blanks, gender, peace, society. So it's going to be how do you call that long? It's really long because we are referring to people in society. So I think there are no questions. Let's take a quick break, or let's just say a break of 5 minutes before we continue with the next exercise. 5 minutes starts now. Okay, for a moment. Where's my video? All right, here. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Let's continue with our discussion. I hope everyone rested well, even though it's only 5 minutes. I hope everyone rested and is ready for the next exercise. Now, so far we did two exercises. First is multiple choice, and then the next one, second one is fill in the blanks. Next exercise is matching descriptions and roles. So here we match each role we match each word with its correct definition. Okay? So we match each role with its correct definition. So what do we do here? We click the word and then click its definition. Okay? Let's try to do it here. Something like that. Okay. Now, let's start. There are 10 items here. Let's start with friendly. The word friendly. So that is the word, no? The people word. What is its definition? Friendly. Again, the word is friendly. I'm going to give you time to check what's your answer. So these are the options that you have. Those are all the options that you have. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think and answer. Okay. What do you think is the definition of friendly? Is it feeling joy? No. Is it a member of a country? Is friendly a member of a country? No. Is it someone you work with? No. Someone you work with, we're talking about a person, but friendly here is a description of the person. Is it having a great height? No. It lives near your home? No. Having lived many years? No. Someone you don't know? No. Is it nice and kind to others? Yes. So friendly is nice and kind to others. That is its definition. Okay? All right. Friendly is nice and kind to others. Let's move on to the second item. Tall. Okay, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to think and answer. Go. Okay. What is the definition of tall? Is it feeling joy? Of course not. Member? No. Someone? No. Oh, member and someone, it refers to a person. But then again, tall here is a description of a person. So they are not the direct person. So this is not correct. Having great height, is it the answer? Yes, that is the answer. So tall here is having great height. Because remember in our discussion, when we talk about the term tall, it we describe someone who have a greater height than average. No? So we are talking about physical descriptions because it is very useful when you need to identify someone in the crowd. No? Tall is having great height. Okay? All right. Next, the word child. So, child is a person, but what kind of person? So, feeling joy, not the answer. That's not the answer because it is a description of an emotion. Member of a country, it could be a member of a country, but not directly the description. Is it someone you work with? Or are children working already? Of course, most of them. Or it is, it is proper that they are not working yet because they are not adults. Do they live near your home? They could be, but that is not a description or definition of a child. Having lived many years? No, because child is still young, no? So they haven't lived many years. Someone you don't know? Maybe. No, but that is not the very definition of a child. Is it a young person? Okay, this is the correct answer. No, I've mentioned child is a young person. So it is someone who has not yet reached adulthood. No? So a child is more on, they have this characteristic or personality of being curious, of being playful. No? So that is a child. Again, a child is a young person. Oh, yeah, a young person. Okay? How about old? What do you think is the answer for old? Now, old is the very opposite of child. Let's go back to the definition of child. A child is a young person. So if it is the very opposite, old is not a young, but it lived many years. No, old is having lived many years. So this is the someone who has lived for many years. So we often associate being old with respect and having deeper insights into life. Okay? For example, who are these people, no, that we consider old? We have our mother, our parents' mother, and our parents' grandfather. Our parents' grandfather, our parents' father. So they could be your grandmother or your grandmother. No, they are old. They have lived many years. Okay? All right. Let's move on to number five, or the fifth word. Kind. Now, kind is not a person, so it is a description of a person. Now, kind is feeling joy. Of course not. It is also not a member of a country and someone you work with. It is also not lives in your home. It is also not someone you don't know. So we have here the answer is, of course, by the principle of elimination, we have caring and helpful. So again, being kind is caring and helpful. So the term kind, it refers to a gentle and caring nature, no? It indicates a person's willingness to show compassion, to show consideration toward others in both their actions and their words. Okay? That is kind. Caring and helpful. Again, kind is caring and helpful. How are we doing so far? We are already at the, half part of this exercise. So we've already answered 5 items. Are your scores so far 5/5? What is your score so far? I hope you are all doing well in answering these exercises. Anyway, we still have five more. Let's move on to the next item. Happy. So happy is not a person, but it is a description of a person. So someone you don't know is not the answer because it refers to a person. This one too, this one, this one. Oh, we only have one answer that refers to a description of a person. Now, so happy is feeling joy. Again, happy is feeling joy. So that is a description of a person. Okay? All right. That is the answer, right? Now we move on to what? The other four. Now for the other four, they're all no, they're all referring to a person because looking at the remaining items here, it refers to a person. So no descriptions of a person remained or left. So let's start with partner. What is the answer? When we talk about partner, what is the answer? Partner. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think and answer. Okay. What is your answer? Partner. Is it a member of a country? Not really specified, but they could be. Is it someone you work with? It is, no? Partner is someone you work with. Now, partner itself, the term partner is very general, no? Earlier in our first exercise, I keep repeating myself that a partner is someone's wife or someone's husband. So that is one of the many definitions of a partner. Now, in a professional context or inside a company, your job, when we talk about partner, that is someone you work with, no? That is partner. Okay. Now, moving on to neighbor. There are only three options left. Which of these refers to neighbor? I'm going to give you 10 seconds to answer. Go. The answer is it a member of a country? No. Is it, or do they live near your home? Yes. So neighbor means lives near your home. Okay? That is a neighbor. Again, neighbor lives near your home. No, so this is basically a person living near you. So that is a neighbor. I hope we get that. No, we get the correct answer. Now let's go, and we are down with two items and two answers, no, or definitions. Of course, next we have citizen. Now, is citizen a member of a country or someone you don't know? Well, someone you don't know could be a citizen, but not directly description. So the answer here is member of a country. Again, member of a country, we call it a citizen. No, they have the rights and responsibilities as a citizen of the country. So usually, no, if not all, citizens participate in civic duties, right? So that is a citizen. Okay. Any questions so far? Are we good? Any questions so far? Well, the last item is very simple because that's the only options that we have. But before we answer or complete this, do we have are we all good? Okay. It's up to you. It's up to you. No, no, of course, no. We cannot really change that much when it comes to our daily living. Okay. Anyway, let's go back. Our last word here is stranger, and our last description is someone you don't know. So that is the answer. Again, stranger is someone you don't know. Okay. Okay. So citizen, a stranger is someone you don't know. No, that's the very definition of it. So it is someone you do not know. It is um since it is someone you don't know, it is very important, everyone, to exercise caution around strangers, no, just to be safe, no, since they may pose risks. Okay. All right. But of course, when we talk about this one in this particular context, that doesn't mean that you will not be able to form any connections at all. No? So the risk is how many or some strangers can become the friends through positive interactions. Okay? So that is stranger. Now these are the different words, no? The words and its definition. First is friendly. What is friendly? Friendly is nice and kind to others. Next, tall. Tall is having a great height. Child. Child is a young person. Old is old is what? Having lived many years. Kind is nice and kind to others. Happy is feeling joy. Partner is, what do you think? Partner is someone you work with. Nine, citizen. So a citizen is is our member of a country. So a citizen is a member of our country. And last one, stranger. Stranger is someone you do not know. Okay, so those are the different words for matching description roles. Exercise number three. And since it's already time, no, let's end here and we're going to continue with the other two exercises next meeting. Okay? So goodbye for today, everyone. I hope everyone has learned something new today, and I hope your scores are already great for all three exercises. This is it for today. Goodbye and have a great rest of the evening.